Become a multimillionaire at $500 a month in a Roth IRA. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's been done before. I can prove it to you. And I think I can show you how you can do it again in the future and make even more. What I'm saying is, if back in 2004, look at this chart, you had invested in a Roth IRA $1,500 a piece into Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. At this point, at the performance they did over those years, Apple 20-year average of 45%, Microsoft 17%, Amazon 35%, Google 24%, giving you a total average of 31%. Your $120,000 would have turned into $4,104,612 as of Friday afternoon. That's what it would have been worth. So we know now it's possible. Why didn't I do this? Well, there's some real reasons. One, I was working, I was making a living, I was raising paying for my family, and then also I wasn't paying attention, nor did I have the data available that I have today to do the analysis I need to do so that I can project what these stocks will do in the future. Or are there better stocks to own at this time as we move in from the digital revolution to the AI and generative AI revolution? What stocks should I invest in? So if I know that it happened before, that tells me it can happen again if I change my behavior. And what is that? I have to pay attention. I have to do research. I have to focus on what is happening in this world and who is going to facilitate it and how can I invest in it. Well, first of all, how I can invest in it is a Roth IRA. Understand that what you put in a Roth IRA and you don't get a tax deduction for the $6,000 that you and your significant other can put in. We can double this number if there's two of you. So if you'll do that and then invest it in the right stocks. Well, how do you do that? Well, the next step I said was, well, do I want to keep it in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google? And so I said, okay, let me go to my data and let me find of those stocks that are wrapped up in the AI, generative AI revolution, the semiconductor world that's going on right now, of those which have the best, do any of them outperform my Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google for the past 10 years and for the past 5 years? So here's what I did then. I said, okay, who are my best performers for the past 5 years? And they come out to these stocks here. Tesla at 173%. That is their average annual return for the last 5 years. Number two, or tied, is AEHR. Yeah, you probably, unless you've been tuning into me in the past, you probably aren't aware of them. I'm not going into what they do. My point here is, how do we decide what to invest in? Number three is AMD at 35%. NVIDIA at 105, SMCI at 130, CrowdStrike, yeah, that's and this 87 represents the drop that they had this past Friday because of their screw up. And then Modine. Modine is the company that puts the air conditioners in the data centers. Okay, that's 5 year. Now let's look at 10 year. And that again has Tesla up at the top at 94. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, a competitor of NVIDIA, is at 68. NVIDIA is, again, this is 10 year, is at 94. SMCI is 58. CrowdStrike hasn't been in business 10 years, and Modine is 41. So what I'm saying is there's a strong possibility that Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are not going to be in our contributions to our Roth IRA. At least, maybe not a little bit in the future, maybe this year, but that's what we got to decide. We got to decide what is going to happen this year, and how do we do that? Well, the way I do it is I've recognized that businesses are in business for one reason and one reason only, and that is to make profits, not to make revenues, not to sell as many and every of what you make. No, to bring profit to the bottom line. How is that reflected? Well, it's reflected on the earnings per share. So what I look at is what is the company and what is Wall Street projecting their earnings per share to be in the future. Okay, and how do I find that? Well, I have some data services that give me access, but more importantly, I listen to their earnings calls because, again, it comes to me, if I'm going to invest money in you and you're a company, I need to know who you are. I need to know what you do. I need to know if you are the CEO, I need to understand how you think. I need to understand your background. I need to trust you. I need to do some research on who you are and what you choose, what you're doing, and how successful you've been at it in the past. Are you a newbie, or do you have some background? I need to know that. And one of the best ways I can do that is not directly talk to you, but listen to you. Listen to the inflection of your voice. Listen to how you answer questions who from analysts who have access to ask you questions. How do you answer them? Do you evade or do you answer directly? And then I make a decision. I'm comfortable with this guy or this gal. And so now I need to get into their financials. Do they have a history of making profit? Do they manage their company for the future as opposed to today? There are some companies who, manage their company for their executives' salaries, General Motors, and they don't really care about what kind of growth in their revenue they get or in their earnings, 3%. And if they don't keep up with inflation, 8%, then they are on a death march. But if I can find companies that have good CEOs and CFOs, who also I can listen to on the earnings call, and Wall Street is confirming their projections of their earnings per share in the future, and if we're multiplying it times a reasonable PE ratio, I know what they're going to make next year. I know if they're going to beat if they're going to beat Apple. So if they're going to beat Apple and they're going to beat Microsoft, then I don't want Apple and Microsoft in my Roth IRA, particularly this year or next year. I can determine that. So we know it's possible because it's done in the past. We know how to predict who our best performers are going to be over the next 5 and 10 years. And we see the Tesla, AHR, AMD, and we see those numbers. Now all we have to do is ask, do I trust Elon Musk? Do I trust Jensen Huang? Do I trust Charles at SMCI? Do I trust these CEOs to be telling me the truth? And do I trust their finance? I can look at their books. Back in 2024, I couldn't. I would have to ask them to send me an annual report. I'd have to go to the NASDA to look at their quarterly. I don't have to do that now. It's all on my computer. Now, the next element that I want to talk to you about tomorrow is not your Roth IRA. I want to talk to you about what I am coining as the digitalization of compute. This is overwhelming. This is powerful. It's not overwhelming, it's powerful. What's different between me and Amazon? Best of us investors in Amazon. When you go to Amazon website, they know who you are. They have tracked your IP address since you first visited Amazon. They know everything that you have done on Amazon's website. They know everything you've bought. They know everything that you've looked at. They subscribe to the data of the other behemoths. They know where you search. They know what you searched for 15 minutes ago, and they put it in front of you. In the future, they're going to give you a purchasing assistant. They're going to communicate with you. They're going to have conversational marketing. So when you show up, there'll be a friendly face there that will say, what can I help you with today? What is it you need? What are you going to use it for? How are you going to use it? And they're going to direct you to the best purchase that you can make, based not only on your history, but the information you share with them at that time. I can't do that on my website. My website is for helping people make better investment decisions. And I know who my market is. There are 33 million of you here in the United States who manage your own stock portfolio. That's my market. That's my TAM, my total addressable market. But I don't have what Jeff has or Amazon has. But in the future, I will. I've talked in the past about Jensen and Michael Dell told me that they could make me a AI factory, a server that could sit right there that would give me the ability to do what Amazon does, to recognize you when you come to my website, to know your name, to know what you've looked at in the past on my website, to even access the data that Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft has of what you looked at on the internet relative to investments. I will have access to all that data. Once that happens, once Dell delivers me that AI factory, I will be Amazon's equal. Think about that. I will be Google's equal. Why? How? Because I have what they have. And what is that? Compute. Compute. Compute power. The power will transfer from them. Now, they aren't going away, but the power will come to me and every other small businessman. Every restaurant that you go into in the future will know your name. They'll know your birthday. They'll know your anniversary. They'll know what you like to eat and what you don't like to eat. Does that sound like Amazon? They'll know when you're hungry. Every car dealer that you've dealt with will know when your payment's up. They know that already. They just don't know how to organize it. This is what's going to happen. The democratization of compute. Put quotation marks around that, and underneath it, write the name Kerry Grinkmeyer. The democratization of compute. Kerry Grinkmeyer said on, what's the date? Let me see here. Saturday, July 20th, 2024. Kerry Grinkmeyer, the democratization of compute. This is your key to becoming a millionaire or a billionaire. It's your choice. If you're satisfied with a Roth IRA with something in the neighborhood of 4 million or more in it, okay, you're a multimillionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I want more than one of those boxes, one of those AI factories sitting there to help me duplicate exactly what Amazon does and do what they're going to do. That you will have an investment, we aren't going to call him an advisor, an investment guide who, when you come to my website, they will come up and it may be me. It'll be an avatar. What can I help you with today? What kind of questions you got? That's where it's going. We need to figure out who's going to take us there. If we do that, we'll not only make billions in our businesses, but we'll make millions in our investments. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I just want to help you and me become as rich as Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk so that we can make decisions who we want to give millions of dollars to support their campaign over the next several months. This is exciting. It is bigger than anything I ever thought that I would be a part of. but I'm into it up to my elbows right now, and it's coming up even faster as that AI machine shows up. And I want to invite you to come along for the journey. It's going to be exciting. And to those who pay attention, again, I want to emphasize, I could have done this in 2004 if I had been paying attention and if I had the data available to me that I have today. And then if you put that AI machine on top of those two things, paying attention, having access to the data, and then going even deeper, there's no holding me back. The question you've got to answer, is there any holding you back? Or do you have the energy? Do you have the belief? Do you have the strength? Do you have the willpower to take part in this? I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I'm having the time of my life. I hope you are as well.